Good morning, everyone. It's P and J time.
Mm-hmm.
You are
Jay.
and P.
Yeah.
What's your name?
You know my name.
Darian
Yeah, you
and
know my name.
Portrait.
There you go.
It is Saturday morning.
Right.
It is cold. And we just thought we'd jump on here to share a couple things with you guys
Mm-hmm.
that we experienced this week. We have been together for a while. We're not going to talk about how we met. That'll be a different segment,
Another show?
another show,
Another show.
another
Okay.
time.
All right.
But we did want to touch base on relationships and something that we experienced this week. It was a disagreement slash challenge that we overcame.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to kind of to walk you guys through that because it's what real life people go through.
Right.
So a couple of days ago we had disagreement.
Right.
We typically watch different TV shows, Lifetime, TLC, some of my favorite shows,
Right.
and he likes them too.
No.
Yes, he does.
No.
So we watch these shows, and then when we hear a topic on TV that can kind of be a topic for us to discuss in our relationship, and we do that. This is how we challenge ourselves. This is how we learn. This is how we grow. So we heard something on TV the other night, and it was pertaining to relationships and how you view yourself in marriage,
Mm-hmm.
in regards to you walking as one or walking together as one, or to that nature. And so we were both explaining how we felt about it, and our versions sounded our versions sound different. So it made us feel like we were not on the same page, right?
Right.
Let me elaborate on that.
Um, just like what she said. Right. Sometimes we only hear, I would say, what we want to hear. Right.
Mhm.
So the argument started from me thinking that you said about how we was going and the way we was going, as far as like what we were going towards, right?
Mhm.
You said that
But
you
your
think.
arm was big on this video.
Talk about it, Queen. You said you said that you think that we was going, that we was two individuals, right?
Right.
Going the what same way,
Mhm.
and
Just walking as one.
walking as one. And I took it as if you were saying that we were still going two
Separate.
separate ways.
Mhm.
And so that would make me say that if we got married,
Mhm.
I would expect for us both to go the same or have go as
Be
one.
as
Be as one.
be one. As
So
far as walking just as one, but be one.
so I took that as to what you're saying, as if we were still that you could.
Separate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I made the in the context of the word if we get married.
Mhm.
That's what started the argument,
Right.
because you never heard me say if we get married
It's
before.
always been a win, and we're making plans towards this, and we're making plans towards that. So when I heard if, I had to circle back, like, what does that mean, right? Because we've never spoke about our future as being a if, and so that was a big deal for me. So we had disagreement. We parted ways without saying anything to each other. It was quiet, right?
Right, right. That's usually, I won't say all the time, but usually the case.
Mhm.
To be honest with you, and if anybody is out there in a relationship, married, anything like that, usually the case is you get upset, and for I'm just gonna speak as a man, you get upset, and at that point of conversation, you don't want to have it. You don't want to talk about it, right? You rather not talk about it. Might be the best thing for you to do, but it's so many lessons in that, because when you talk to your spouse or your companion, y'all should be able to talk to each other about how you are when you get upset, or how you
Mhm.
are when you don't want to talk, so that so the person, the companion or the
Mhm.
spouse can understand
And
that.
give you that time
Yeah, give you that time to let you
to
to
process.
yeah, yeah, because at that time of talking, And sometimes we do it to each other, and I've done it to her before.
Mhm.
When I know that she was mad about something, I asked her, say, "You want to talk about it?" And I know she don't want to talk about it, but we have that understanding of knowing that
We give each other that time.
I give her her time when she's feeling away about something, and she give me my time when I'm feeling away about something.
But we never let it go long.
We never let it go long. That's all in the communication
Mhm.
in a relationship. Be transparent to the fact where you break it down to the morsel about how you are when you in this situation, because you're gonna have different situations. You're gonna have disagreements like we had,
Mhm.
and our disagreement was about a word, right? If
Right, and it streamed from a topic that we were talking about on TV, which wouldn't even pertain to us, but we like to tap into those things to have discussions about us. So,
the where we got it from was it was what's 90 Day Fiance? Oh,
Married at First Sight,
okay.
Australia,
No,
on
okay.
Lifetime. It comes on Thursday night.
This is not
really
a
good.
plug. It's not a plug for them. So no.
In fact, the reunion is next.
Come on,
Okay.
relax. But anyway, on that show, the lady was setting up and she was reading her vows to the guy she's been living with, for a couple of years, months, whatever, right?
Mhm.
And in that time frame, in her vows, she read that this man made her feel worthless, and he did all these things to her. He made her feel like worthless, feel worthless. And worthless is a word that, if you look it up, worthless means like
Nothing.
good for nothing, right? And that's what he made her feel. But in that, what she said, she still turned around and said,
I'll marry you.
"Will you marry me?" So that goes to show that even when we compare what we went through with how I didn't realize that we were saying two different things, or we were saying the same thing. If we listen to each other and listen to the words and how people say them, then we can understand. But sometimes now, just like in the show,
Mhm.
words mean different things, right?
They mean different, or do we just not hold people accountable for the
We
word?
we don't hold people
Because
accountable.
when someone says something, we have to make them accountable. If you say you're making me feel unworthy, or you're making me feel worthless,
Mhm.
then that's pretty powerful. And so be mindful of what you say. Be mindful of how you communicate to people, because I take words literally. You say when, if, before, after, now, later. I I'm literal. So I take it for what it is. And if you say it, I feel like you should mean what you say. So be mindful, even when you're angry and you're communicating back and forth and you're arguing or fussing or whatever the case may be. Be
Mhm.
mindful that your words um, hold a lot of weight. It carries a lot of weight. And we do try not to say anything that we can't. We try not to say anything that we don't mean, even when we're having disagreements.
Right.
You typically we do not apologize for what was said because we typically mean what we said,
Mm.
but we apologize for how it may have made the other person feel.
Mm.
So we are transparent and honest about that. We don't apologize for the things that come out of our mouth because we are mindful when we even through our
That's all.
disagreements, we don't be disrespectful. We don't cuss each other out. We don't call each other's name. Each other names. We have healthy
Right.
adult disagreements,
Mhm.
and typically
Mhm.
the way we bring it back to the table
Right.
is the man
Mhm.
brings it back to the table and
Yeah.
and addresses the issue.
That's another thing. That's a thing that I learned. It's a thing I learned that as a man, we have a responsibility to bring it back together. We have a responsibility to um, our spouse, our wives, our companions to, if we love that person, right, like we say we do, it's our responsibility to make sure you rectify everything. You bring
Mhm.
everything back together
To repair.
and apologize, and even if it's not, you don't believe it's like your whole your fault, or if you don't believe like it's all your fault, or just You know, because pride in that situation, I know is hard for a man to admit to. So, but I realize that we both have responsibilities because our responsibility is for us to bring it back together, and then on their responsibility is for them to
Have an ear to listen
hmm
and a heart to receive.
right, and to accept it.
And to accept it and let it go. If the man can set aside his pride and bring it to the table and say, listen, we're not on the same page, things are not right. What can I do? How can we fix this? Then we have to do our part as a woman and listen to what he's saying, have a heart to receive it, and do our part to repair, um, you know, the relationship. So I know as women, we do want to hold on to things a lot.
Right.
But like you said, if you love him and he loves you, then you have to, after you give yourself time to process whatever, when he bring it back to the table, try to do your part and be accepting. Have an ear to listen and a heart to receive, so that you guys can get past it. Oh, another thing that I just thought about.
hmm
We typically don't have the same issues,
What you mean?
like the challenges that we have.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like once we address a issue or a problem or a challenge, we typically do not have to circle back and go through it again.
Right.
So that's important too. You shouldn't be going in circles with the same problem over and over again. We had the problem one time, we sat down, we talk about it, we fix it, and then it's on to the next one.
hmm
So that's one thing I love about our relationship is that we don't have the same issues over and over again.
Right. And that comes from a whole lot of communication
In life.
in life. Life is a journey,
Hmm.
and no greater person to be on it than your spouse. So you want to protect your relationship. You want to make sure you honor her, and bring this thing together. Because we need more people out here, especially us of color.
Yes, we need more black love
That
displaying healthy
love,
relationships and
help.
healthy communication, because it's a lot of us out there.
It could be done. It could be done.
Absolutely.
I'm a witness that it could be done.
Me too.
So, all it takes is communication.
Putting God first.
Putting God. Oh, that's number one. Putting God 1st
Mhm.
is number one. But communication is right after that, and then you could be able to trust, and a lot of stuff falls from communication. Just letting the
Mhm.
person know who you are, and you know being who you are, and that's accepted by you got to know who you are first before you be able to give yourself to anybody in the first
That's
place.
a fact.
So once you know who you are, then you are able to give yourself to somebody else, and then
Move from there.
you move from there.
Yep.
Yep. So
And take God along the way.
he has to be in the midst of it. You have to let him. Um,
Lead you.
he has to be the foundation.
Yeah.
He has to be the foundation, and he has to be the one to lead you, because God's he's gonna give you the right things to say, the right um, uh, things to do.
How to do it.
It's just us as human beings. It's just us as man, woman. That pride let us not do the things that we know we want to do. And if you and there's a lot of counters and a lot of things to it, because
Mhm.
if love is in there, it shouldn't be a hard situation or a hard thing for you to do. But I know pride. You say you got pride, but like they say,
I want to be the first one to say I'm sorry.
all that.
I don't want to be the one that's always bringing it back to the table, always, you know,
Love covers
stepping up.
a multitude of sin.
Yeah.
So it's just let your pride go. Men, let your pride go, and
Women, be open.
and
If you have a good man that is good to you, that is good to your heart, that is good to your soul, and takes care of you in all other areas, have a ear to listen and a heart to receive, and let him lead and be the man. Follow him as he follows Christ.
mm,
That was good, wasn't
hmm
it? All right, thank you guys for tuning in for P&J time. We'll see you next time. Be blessed.